Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I want to thank Minister Cole for highlighting the often unsung heroes of our economy, our small business owners. They are the risk takers, they are the innovators, and they're the doers, working hard to make a great life and get ahead for themselves and their families. And as Treasurer, I'm acutely aware that small businesses are the lifeblood of our economy. The nearly 17,000 of them that call the Northern Territory home. Small businesses matter to this government, Madam Speaker, and when the CLP was elected, the Territory was in disarray. Small businesses were bearing the brunt of a broken economy where the only things booming were crime and incompetence. It was a sad state of affairs that had to change fast, and change it did, Madam Speaker, under a CLP government. Labor's idea of economic growth was taxing business out of existence. Our plan is growing businesses, creating jobs and investing in the Territory's future. And Madam Speaker, we started with staff. It's hard enough to find and hire great staff, and it makes no sense adding another tax barrier. And I know that because my constituents were loud and clear: get out of our way to hire. So the CLP did what made the biggest impact, giving NT businesses the highest payroll tax-free threshold in Australia. Madam Speaker, we increased it from $1.5 million to $2.5 million, and this was a game changer for many businesses and meant one less barrier to deal with. And as a result, Madam Speaker, 2/3 of businesses with wages below $2.5 million pay zero payroll tax. And Madam Speaker, while we're at it, we provided full exemptions for apprentices and trainees. Madam Speaker, we are making the Territory the place to be. Right now, there's thousands of people asking themselves where they can live for better opportunities and lifestyles. And Madam Speaker, we're out there broadcasting out loud and clear every day. Come to the Territory, come to the place of opportunity. Because, Madam Speaker, under our Rebuilding the Economy strategy, we are making it the best place in the nation to live, to work, to invest and to grow a business. And Madam Speaker, we're continuing to work hard, delivering $2 million a year on workforce attraction and skilled migration, $88 million on tourism promotion, and in some cases, hooking in travellers who have decided to call the Territory home. $120 million on training and higher education so those in the Territory can be skilled up and then provide those skills back to the Territory, helping to grow our economy and to grow small business. Our next focus, of course, Madam Speaker, was on procurement reform. We were told it was too complex, too difficult, and for time-poor businesses, it just took too long to get things done. So with a fresh approach, the CLP have modernised and simplified procurement. We've made it easier for government to buy directly from Territory businesses without a formal quote process, speeding up the time you get paid from us, and we've increased the purchasing caps to sensible levels. Tier 1 moves from $15,000 to $50,000, and Tier 2 moves from $100,000 to $200,000, Madam Speaker. And this reflects the changing scope and dynamic of the Territory's economy and purchasing. And this was very, very much long overdue and will make things easier for businesses to work with government and for government to procure from our local businesses. And Madam Speaker, we reduced red tape for Territory businesses and government contract managers. And we've given a voice to the Territory procurement champion, helping to drive more local outcomes. We know that under the previous government, procurement and dealing with government became very, very difficult. They love to introduce red tape, beige tape, green tape, all sorts of colours of tape, Madam Speaker. And we're committed to removing that tape and making it easier for people to do business here in the Territory and making it easier for Territory businesses, because we were out there listening to business. We're continuing to fund new programs that help tackle the insidious effects of crime and antisocial behaviour. Because unless we deal with crime and antisocial behaviour, we can't have a strong economy and we can't grow our economy. They are very, very simple fundamentals, something that the previous government didn't understand. And Madam Speaker, BizSecure continues to help Territory businesses with financial support to improve the safety and security of their facilities against break-ins and crime. And we've only got to look at what happened over the last 8 years with crime for business. I know in the 4 years that I was in opposition, the amount of businesses that came to me complaining about the crime epidemic in Alice Springs and the issues that they were forced to go through. Repeated break-ins, repeated damage were hurting their bottom line to the point they couldn't get insurance, Madam Speaker, to fix doors, to fix windows, and were having to pay that out of their own pocket. And what does that mean, Madam Speaker? That means they have to put their costs up because they can't bear those costs alone. So their costs have to increase, which then affects the average person on the street. And we talk about cost of living issues, and that was one of the things that was driving cost of living up, because business had to pay to deal with the issues of crime, and they had to pass those costs on to consumers. Then us, the consumers, had to then pay that price. And it's not just windows and doors we're helping now, Madam Speaker, but the vulnerable laptops and services powering business. And it's a shocking fact that the average cost of a cyber attack now is $50,000. And a recent high-profile corporate case shows that absolutely no one is immune. And not every small business has the resources of big industry to firewall their networks. But there is great help out there from our government, and we are providing that for small business to firm up their defences. The 𝘉𝘬𝘭𝘪𝘯𝘦𝘴𝘴 government is backing businesses against cybercrime with the $1 million Cyber Invest Business program. Small and medium businesses can now apply for up to $10,000 to cover costs of eligible services. And this is something that hasn't been done in the Territory before. They can apply for that to strengthen cyber security or to test their business's resilience to a cyber incident. And that also includes, Madam Speaker, training for education for their staff to be better prepared for a cyber attack, because no one is immune. And on training and education, Madam Speaker, we're giving great access to ideas through October Business Month. And Madam Speaker, this year's theme, Play to Our Strengths, focuses on digitalisation, using artificial intelligence to implement technology, workforce attraction and talent retention and resilience in businesses. And Madam Speaker, this has been a resounding success, giving small businesses broad workshops and insights through to the end of October. And it's pleasing to see that the opportunities for businesses throughout the Territory and seeing them out there participating and engaging through October Business Month. And Madam Speaker, in my home of Alice Springs, I've been given great feedback on the diversity of topics covering AI, cyber support, budgeting, increasing productivity and managing staff. Madam Speaker, we're continuing to rebuild the economy. And after the economic death spiral of the former government, the Territory is now on the right path. We have the fastest growing economy in the nation. We're seeing increased investment in construction of new dwellings. We have the highest increase in loans for new dwellings anywhere in the country. It shows, Madam Speaker, that what we're doing is right. Through our homegrown and fresh start housing grants, we're getting people to come to the Territory, getting people to stay in the Territory and giving them that opportunity to build and own their first home, something that we're seeing is very, very difficult to reach in some of those southern states. We're doing the hard work here, Madam Speaker, to get people into the Territory, to grow business, to grow small business, getting people to put down roots, because we know that is what is important for the Northern Territory. Getting people to come here, getting people to live here, getting people to either start businesses or go and work for small businesses, because they are the backbone of our economy. Thank you, Madam Speaker.